before we put this new carbon fiber trunk on, we gotta see what we have to move over. So definitely this carpeted piece. We will need to move the license plate lights over, trunk handle, little lock cylinder, and besides that it should be pretty easy. Just really two bolts here that keep it in. Take those off, slide it off. Definitely a two-person job, because if you drop this on the rear window, that could be really bad. So I'm going to get a trim tool so I can pop all these rivets off and start moving this over. I have popped most of these rivets out. Don't forget about the ones up under here, because otherwise you'll be pulling on this thing all day. Just use a trim tool. Pretty simple to pop them out. If then this end pops out, you can pop it back in. It's no big deal. Then also make sure to take these off as well. These are kind of your stoppers and help you with the alignment of your body lines on the trunk. Alright, so I'm going to pop these last rivets out and start moving this thing over. Once you get this liner off, it will be held in place by this. I think it's an emergency trunk release. So that wire is still in there. It goes back up through here. And you gotta take the actual trunk latch off. So you need a Torx head for that. My bit just fell. Oh, never mind. This is T27. To get this wire released, it will be attached, I think, right there. I just took a trim tool, pressed on this clip, and that way it will take us down so you have access to the rest of these bolts here, so you can take them out and transfer stuff over. You also have to take your inner tail lights and switch those over. I got the lock cylinder out, and it was a massive pain in the ass. So once you take these two bolts out, be aware that you have a third plastic little screw, which I don't know why they did it, and there are also some teeth on there, so you really need to kind of wiggle it out. There's the third plastic screw. As for actually removing the trunk lid, you have to take this one out. It is an 11 millimeter, not meter. That would be a big ass bolt. Yeah. And then loosen this one, and then you lift up both sides straight up. I'd recommend using two people. Do not forget to remove your wires. You can pretty much remove them all from this big stuff, and then just pull it through here and down out through here. Alright, we have the trunk completely off. This is why we are replacing it. You got rear-ended there. How you doing? We are running into our first issue with fitment. The OEM trunk lid has a smaller lip right here, and the inner taillight grabs onto that, but on this carbon fiber one it's quite a bit thicker, so we can't really grab onto it and then rotate it over. There's not enough clearance. So maybe we'll get rid of that tab on the inner taillight. Maybe we'll grind this down. So Zorn, I think you got to make a decision here. Are you going to sand down the $800 trunk lid or your $50? The carbon fiber trunk is on, and we are about to see how it looks for the first time. So, go ahead and put it down. Not all of them, I mean, don't slam it at all. Your wires are still there. Right. So just to give you an idea of how much kick is on there. think it looks a little bit out of place at the moment, but I think once he gets his carbon mirror caps on there and we put the black trim on, it'll look a lot better. I keep telling him to get black wheels. Who knows when he will listen. We have fed the wire back through here. Basically just push it up, pull it on through. I'd say be careful when you're reconnecting these little wire rivets or whatever you want to call them, because it seems kind of flimsy in there. And it's really rigid because it's carbon fiber, so one shove that's a little too hard and it could snap. We're still having issues with the fitment of this, so I'll probably take care of that a different day. Welcome back to another episode of Carbon Fiber Trunks Are a Pain in the Ass. Here we have a grinder because the inner taillights have a tab right here that will not let them fit, so we just had to grind those off. And we'll see what kind of fitment it gives us. It's better if we pop up a little bit over here.
Word of advice, don't buy one of these fucking things.
And then it doesn't even have a place for your lock cylinder to go into. And the license plate lights don't really work. Also, we can't forget to move your bump stops over.
The what?
Bump stops. After a lot of finagling, we finally got the lights in there, so they fit decent. There's still a little gap, but we are going to try and move the trunk back where it's mounted on the other side, especially on this side, because you can see that gap, but it's all the way throughout. It's not just the light itself. They sit pretty flush to here, but I've heard there are a lot of fitment issues with these carbon trunks, so we'll see how that goes. But here's so you can get a perspective of the kick on it. It's pretty big. Yeah, we might be able to do that. So we finally got the trunk to fit with some help with my dad. He's a bit of a miracle worker.
Your dad is fucking genius.
And there were a lot of things that need to be fixed. The pretty much largest issue we were having was this trunk doesn't have that lock cylinder. Your license plate light is falling out. That's another issue with these. And basically that the cables, the steel cables on that were twisted behind this tab, and that was putting pressure on the latch so it would not latch. So there's a little pin on it. We pulled it out and then got rid of the lock cylinder, and magically the latch started working. And we also had to move where it grabs on this pin a little bit. But she closes and works now.
This thing got a hammy in it?